If you're looking to market yourselves in 2021, then this video is definitely for you. This is the 10 music marketing strategies you'll ever need in 2021. Guys, my name is Des from the Music Marketing Academy. If you're looking to market either you, your band, or your brand in this fast-growing music industry, then you've definitely come to the right place. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick presentation, and then we're going to have some Q&A afterwards if you guys are willing to stick around and you're interested in that. So first off, my name is Des, like I just said. I'm from the Music Marketing Academy. We help musicians that are looking to actually make money with their music. So do this every Saturday, so I'm glad that you're here. If you're not watching live, then I appreciate you watching the replay of this as well. So let's get on with the presentation. So very quickly, if you decide that you want to make money, or if you want to make money in 2021, you have to actually decide this is actually something you're willing to do. It's very, very important that you decide this. And I know it sounds a bit strange about deciding it, but if you don't decide that you want to make money with your music, the things that happen is you've got basically several roads. I'm showing two there, but you've got several roads you can go down. But if you don't decide that you actually want to make money, the actions that you take going from here on out are completely different. If music is just a hobby to you, the actions that you take when you get up in the morning, when you actually go onto your phone, they are completely different to when you've actually decided that you actually want to make money with your music as well. So I know it sounds a bit strange and it sounds probably a bit weird, but you do need to decide, maybe even today or tomorrow, but you need to decide that you want to make money. Because if you're not bothered about making money with your music, then all the actions are just going to be a waste of time from here on out. All right, there's no problem with you posting on social media. There's no problem with you sharing your music and getting people to comment and download it and stuff. But if you actually want to make money with your music, the path that you take is completely different to the path when you're not actually bothered at all. The next thing you need to do, guys, is you need to define your audience. Who is actually your audience? All right, let me just put this on full screen. Who is your audience? It's really important to define your audience, because if you don't, you're basically marketing to everybody, really. So in this case, what you need to do is you need to discover who your audience are and what network they are actually on. Now, when I say decide which network they're on, if you like a particular platform, say for example you like Twitter, and Twitter is a platform where most of your fans aren't actually on, then you need to decide, am I happy to actually stay on Twitter? Am I happy to keep posting my content on Twitter, even though most of my fans are on Instagram? You need to actually decide if this is something you want to do. And when I say find out where your fans are, where do you get the most engagement at the moment? If you're on Twitter at the moment and you get most of your engagement on Instagram, you need to make a decision of, right, do I continue posting content on Twitter, or do I just not spend as much time on Twitter but post the vast majority of my content on Instagram? I know these are small little things, but it's really important that you decide exactly what's happening there. Also, once you have decided, say for example, most of your fans are on Instagram and you're going to spend most of your time on Instagram, it's then very important that you need to communicate with them as well. It's not a case of just posting content on there. And I've spoken about this in previous live streams. It's really important that as soon as you find out which platform they're on and you're posting content on there, you actually need to start communicating with them. Whether that's going on to their feed, if they've commented on one of your posts, go onto one of their feeds, leave a comment on there. If you're actually managing to have a two-way conversation in text, you can actually, say for example on something like Instagram, you can actually literally just go into the DMs and actually leave a voice message as well. I don't know if you realize that. So once you find out that you've got a fan that really loves your music, you need to go into a deeper level with them, really, in regards to actually communicating with them, right? It's really, really important that you do that. So like I said, you need to discover where they are. It's also as well interesting to know what their gender is as well. And again, I know that's a really strange question, but with Instagram, what you can do, for example, is you can find out if you switch your account to a business account on Instagram, you can actually find out what the genre, what demographic your fans are. I know you probably think it's 50-50, but you'd be really surprised at the people that are engaging with your posts. You'll probably find that you'd be surprised that the gender mix is not 50-50. So the reason why I ask you to do that is, and the reason why it's important to know this is, when you're actually posting content on Instagram or even on Twitter or on any of the other social media platforms, when you know the genre or the gender of your fan base, the way you craft your music, the way you craft your posts will actually reflect that, depending on the gender of the actual, your actual fan base. It's really, really important. Like I said, once you actually find that out, that's the time when you then need to actually start communicating with them. Don't just reply back in the comments, actually go into their feed as well and actually take a look at what they're interested in. Because look, guys, we know you haven't at the moment, probably haven't got thousands of fans out there. So the fans that actually do show an interest in you and your music, they are like gold. Those ones that comment on your posts, those ones that say they love your music, these guys, there's no reason why you can't have a one-to-one with them, whether it's actually going into their post and feed and commenting on their content, or going into the DMs. And a lot of the people who are within my forum are actually doing this a lot at the moment. They're actually going into the DMs and actually having a private conversation with the people that actually like their music. All right. So the next thing is, you need to find out which social media platform you want to be on. All right. So this is really, really important, because like I mentioned before, even if you like a particular social media platform, just because you like it, it doesn't mean that that's the one that you need to spend the most time on. You really need to ask yourself the question, where am I getting the most engagement? You might like Instagram, but you might be actually getting a lot of your fan base communicating with you and saying they like your stuff on Twitter, for example. If that's the case, you need to make a decision on which platform you're going to spend the vast majority of your time. It's really, really important to do that, guys. So the next thing we need to do is analyze the market. And I know that sounds really, really technical, but it's actually quite simple, actually. So what we're going to do when I say analyze the market is, we need to find out what type of music that your fans are actually interested in. You might fall into one genre of music, but your fans might be interested in other genres of music as well. And it's really important that you find that out. So ways that you can find that out is, you can actually do a poll. For example, on Instagram, in the stories, you go into a little sticker icon and you can do a poll there. Or if you're on Twitter, for example, you can run a poll and ask your fans which genre of music they actually prefer or they like. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go down that path of actually changing your music to that, but it's still a good idea to know exactly what genre of music your fans are interested in, because there's no reason why you can't post content and share content from that genre of music as well, even though you personally aren't actually making that music. But it's really important to know exactly what they're into, so you can actually craft your content going forward for that. Like I said, and I'm just going to stress this, I'm not saying that you need to actually change the genre of music that you're in. But what I am saying is, it's really important to know what genre of music that your fans are actually interested in as well. And obviously, it's going to be quite widespread, but we're looking for like generality, to get my words out, generalities here. You're looking for the ones, say, for example, if you're in rock and some of them listen to hip hop, for example, and that's the second most popular one. I'm not suggesting, again, like you do hip hop, but you need to craft your content around that just to keep them interested, really. These are the sort of things that are really, really important. Once you figure that out and you actually then realize where you fit in, you actually know then what sort of content that you're likely needing to post. All right. So next thing we need to talk about is creating an action plan for your music. All right. Now, again, this probably sounds quite technical, and I promise you, it really isn't that technical at all. So what we're looking to do is, we're looking to start setting some music goals. All right. These are not going to be set in stone. These can be quite fluid, but if you're wanting to try and make money with your music, if you're looking to actually produce a real marketing strategy for your music, you do need to start setting some goals of things that you're actually looking to achieve this year in 2021. Well, I've just said that. What are you looking to achieve? And then the next thing is, how are you going to achieve them? All right. You need to have a plan of, say, for example, you're looking to get a certain amount of plays on Spotify, for example. You then know that when you actually got a new track coming out, most of the links within your bios need to be pointing to Spotify. And last week I said, go to your website and then Spotify. it's either way, either route will help, but you do need to have a plan. If you're not looking to get more streams on Spotify and you're looking to get more streams on SoundCloud, for example, or you're looking to get them to Bandcamp, you need to know, you need to have an objective, and it needs to be crystal clear exactly what you want to do when you launch your track. Because when you are crystal clear, like I said before, right at the very beginning of this presentation, it will steer you down the road that you want to be going down. And if you're trying to get people to Bandcamp, then on the day of launch, you need to be changing all your links in your bio to actually be going to the place that you want to get the most traction from. Really, really important. Also, guys, think of it on a monthly basis. I think at the moment, most of you are posting, or you're launching maybe 1 track a month or 2 tracks a month. If you think about it on a monthly basis, start planning out your launches. And again, if you haven't done it yet, I have got a music launch checklist. If you're interested, it's in the description of here. It goes through step by step exactly what you need to do to launch your next track. So what happens, guys, what happens is when you're actually coming out of the launch process of one track, you're then going into another one. So it actually enables you to keep your fan base actually engaged in what you're doing, because you're telling them a story of, this was what's happening with my old track and this is what's happening with my new track. It's very, very difficult to do that unless you have a goal and unless you have a plan for this, all right? The next thing, guys, is you need to work out, are you actually going to spend money on your next launch? Now, the only reason why I ask that is it's okay doing what we call organic posting. And organic posting is literally just posting your content for free on these social media platforms. However, if you're looking to make money with your music, there are many more components that go into it if you want to make money. And at some point, when you're launching your next track, at some point you do need to spend money on press releases. You do need to advertise. You need to have content curation. Probably not now, but later on down the line, you're going to want to start touring, for example. I've got Peter from Peter and Ella that's not going to be on the live stream a little bit later. I know that these guys are quite hot on this, and obviously when things all the craziness actually finishes, hopefully this year, they're going to start touring again. You need to know exactly what it is you need to do when it comes to actually the launch process, and also regarding social media and networking. These things are really important, because just posting on your content organically on social media, yes, you can get exposure, but it's nothing like the exposure you're going to get if you start spending money on advertising it and all the things that I've just talked about when you actually come to the launch process. Hence the reason why I say you really do need to start setting some goals and exactly what you want to do. All right, it's so important. Just posting content on social media is fine, but it's never really going to get you the exposure that advertising is going to get you later on down the line. Also as well, and again, probably just ending this up with regarding the action plan, it's good to set targets as well. So if you've set yourself a certain amount of streams, you need to write this down in your action plan that you want 1,000 streams or 2,000 streams. You need to actually start setting some goals and setting some targets as well. Now look, you're probably not going to achieve them, or you might not achieve them, but setting a goal, having targets is really, really important. It gives you something to shoot for, basically. These things are really important, guys. I've just mentioned again, we've got the launch checklist. I've just put this in here just to remind myself that I need to mention it to you guys. But if you're interested in it's a PDF download. A lot of people, I think over 300 people have downloaded it at the moment. If you're interested in that, let me know in the DMs. If not, it should be in the description in the video if you're interested in the launch checklist as well. Okay, so the next thing is, guys, you need to have what we call a spreadsheet as well. And again, this isn't written in stone, but if you've got a spreadsheet and you've set your goals, do like monthly little columns on there. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because a lot of people have got their own way of doing this. I personally like to recommend using a spreadsheet in order to actually allocate everything that you're going to do in a month and have it in monthly columns as well. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You guys know about spreadsheets. You know how important it is to use them. I'm not going to go into that into too much detail. So guys, at the moment, is there any comments below? I'll have a look to see who's joined. So we've got Peter and Ellie here. Good to see you. And you're going to be on the live stream later. We've got All World Kitty as well. That's great to see you. Got Viga. Hello all. I think a lot of you guys know each other as well. We've got Boki. Good to see you, mate. Thank you so much. And we've got Mike. Money sounds good to me. Yeah, it sounds good to me as well. Jamie, I think you've just joined the live stream. Good to see you here, Jamie. And we've got Fabio here as well. Guys, if you've got any questions, please ask away. I asked earlier on, I think it was yesterday, if anybody had any questions, and a few people asked questions, and I'm going to go into that in a little while. So if you have any questions, please. We've got Peter in the live stream. We've got Darren in the live stream at the moment from MusicCast, and we've also got Jamie as well. So yeah, guys, give a wave if you can hear me. Right, so I'm just going to remove you guys, and we're going to have a little chat in a little while. I'm just going to carry on with the presentation. So what are we talking about next? We're talking about building a community and why it's so important to build a community. So last week, I was basically talking about sending people directly to your website and then from your website onto the third-party platforms and how important it was. And again, I'm just going to touch on this. If you didn't see last week's live stream, go and have a look at that. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. But what's happening is a lot of musicians were sending people directly to a third-party website. And I was basically just saying is if you want to build a community around your music, you really do need to be sending them to a platform that you own, start collecting names and email addresses, and then you can basically just communicate with them whenever you've got a new track that's coming out, whenever you're going into the studio. These things are really important, all right? Setting up your own website, very, very easy to do. There's loads of tutorials online. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube. Not very, very difficult to do. Or you can go into Fiverr, for example, the freelancing platform. If you're struggling with that, get somebody to build it for you. They're not expensive anymore, but I'd recommend having your own website, a platform that you own. There was a report in the week where Facebook would delete an account. So it just shows you that even though you've got loads of followers, you might have 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. If they're on these social media platforms, if they ban your account, you've got no access to your fan base anymore. So it's really important to try and build your own community, right? Each time you upload a video snippet, each time you're doing anything on social media, there's no reason why you can't let your fan base know. All right, it's all about building community. If you don't build a community around your music, what happens is you're just like another artist. You're just like anybody else. The moment you post something, it's not going to feel anything to your fans. You're just going to be like an ordinary artist. But however, if you build a community around both you and your music, it means that you're actually building a bond with your fan base. It's so, so important. And also as well, and probably most importantly, one of the best music strategies for 2021 is anytime you're launching a track, you can actually let them know that the track is coming out tomorrow, it's coming out today. You can tell them when you're going into the studio, you can tell them when you're going to make your music video. All of these things is what fans really want to know about you and your music. It's not a case of just posting music on there and hoping for the best. It's actually trying to have two-way conversations with your fans. Like I talked about earlier, if you've got somebody that comments on one of your posts, literally go into the DMs and say, look, guys, you've commented on my post. I'm sure you like my music. Why don't you visit my website? Why don't you go to Spotify? Why don't you go to Apple Music? Why don't you sign up for my email list where I can give you 3 MP3? There's so many things you can do just to build a community around there. But in 2021, as one of the music marketing strategies of 2021, is actually building a community around your music. Now, listen, when I say build a community, I'm not saying that you have to be on there every day. I have a private Facebook group and I'm not in there every day. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is you need to have a place that you can call your own where people can actually log in or they can basically receive information from you, just letting them know that something's happening, whether you're going into the studio, if you purchase a new piece of equipment, what you're working on at the moment with your writing, whether you're producing, whatever it is that you're talking about, you need to build a community around it. It's really, really important. The next thing is, and I'm probably going to get a lot of scowls when I say this because a lot of you are quite scared to do this, but he's going live. We've got Darren from MusicCast on here at the moment. He's got a platform where allows you, it's going to allow you to do that. But going live, for example, is one of the best music marketing strategies you can do at the moment. And it's not just going live online. I would actually say combining the two. So going live offline and online. Obviously, we've got the pandemic on at the moment. You can't do that at the moment, but I think latter end of 2021, you need to combine both going live online and basically going live at an actual venue as well. A lot of you complain that you can't actually go live at the moment at a venue. If that's the case, what you need to start doing is start building your audience online, all right? And then when you can actually, we'll probably talk to Peter about this a bit later on actually, but when you actually have the ability to go live in an actual venue, what you've done is you've built up so much great equity when you've actually gone online, going live. You can basically tell those people, if you've built an email list, look, guys, you like my live streams, I'm going to be at a certain place at a certain time. Are you guys interested? And again, we're going to speak to Peter a bit later. I know he does this, he did this locally, and hopefully when things open up, he's going to do it again. But there's no reason why some of your audience will actually travel to actually where you're going live if they like what they're seeing online. All right, it's so important to do this. And look, another thing about going live is there's no better way to actually get to know your audience than actually having a two-way conversation. So what happens is, if you haven't gone live, let me tell you how it works. So you go live, you'll go through, you'll sing a track or you rap a track or do whatever you're doing, and then when you finish that track, that's when you stop and do what I'm doing now, talking to you face to camera, and actually have a conversation. You can go into your comments, you can if your fans are asking questions, you can answer questions. They can ask you what you felt about writing that track or what you were feeling at the time. You can basically ask questions whether you've got a new track coming out, when is it coming out, and what format is it going to be on, where's the best place where I can actually stream or download it. Can you see what I'm saying here? Now look, I know a lot of you are quite scared to go live, and that's fine. So what I'd recommend is maybe on either Periscope, which is probably going to be ending soon, but if you go onto YouTube, for example, you go onto Facebook, use your phone and just go live for 5 or 10 minutes. If you're quite a shy person, just go live for 5 or 10 minutes, and it basically gets you into the habit of actually being on camera and not being as shy. Obviously, it's very scary going live. And if you've watched in my previous live streams, you can see how many mistakes I've made. I've made several mistakes. But what I would say, guys, is every time you do it, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, you will get better with time. But as a music marketing strategy for 2021, this is a really important component of it. Now, look, you might not want to start now. You might want to start in a month or 2 months, which is totally fine. But please, and I beg you, make it one of your part of your music marketing strategy for 2021 is to do this and to actually go live. And again, we're going to speak to Darren later on. I'm going to get his opinion of that as well. Darren from MusicCast. Next thing we need to talk about, guys, is we need to calculate a budget. And I talked about advertising earlier on. Now, when I say calculate a budget, if you're looking to make money with your music, you can't just post organically, right? You can't just post a post and then hope for the best. You do need to have some sort of launch process. And this is why I was saying with my music launch checklist, if you follow a process of when you're going to launch, there needs to be some way that you need to advertise that your music is actually out there. I don't think that sending people to Spotify and just trying to hope to make money from Spotify is the best strategy in the world. But if that is your strategy, that's totally fine. But at some point, there needs to be a component where you need to actually calculate how much you can actually spend. Now, that's going to be different for all of you, whether it's £50, $50, or $100 or $200. It doesn't matter. You make up your own figure. You know, but you do need to have a budget for your music. It's all well and good posting organically, but I'm going to tell you now, if you're looking to actually make money from it, at some point, you do need to decide how you're going to make money. If you've been watching these live streams for any length of time, you know I'm not a massive component of sending just loads of people to Spotify, because we know the money's not so great. My strategy and my preference would be is maybe 1 or 2 of your songs you put onto Spotify and Apple Music, but you need to have a third-party platform where your fans can actually download your music and actually pay you for it. Also, as well, guys, you can actually start collecting money if you do a live stream, for example. There's no reason why you can't do that. But if you basically just post your content on social media, you're never, ever really going to make any substantial amount of money. There's not really any amount of posting that you can do that you can actually get enough return. That's where advertising comes in. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this live stream because it's quite an in-depth topic. But what happens is, if you send enough people over to your website, if you send enough people over to Facebook or Instagram, what it allows you to do, it allows you to collect data, and then in turn, you can basically advertise to the people that have already shown an interest. You can advertise to them, and the actual sign-up rate, when I say sign-up rate, the amount of people that are actually interested in purchasing your music is a lot higher if they've already had some sort of engagement with you previously. Hence the reason why I think it's such an important component of music marketing in 2021. The next thing I'm going to say is, and you're probably going to laugh at this, is actually recording a music podcast. I basically have a podcast that goes out every Friday, and it literally takes me to record it probably about 5 or 10 minutes to record. Now, look, when I say a podcast, I'm not on about a full-blown podcast. It can either be audio or video. All I'm saying is it might be just a podcast where you upload to something like Anchor. And what you do is literally just tell guys what you're actually up to at the moment. So the same content that you've got in your emails, for example, going out to your fans, you're just doing in audio style. Now, there's many things you can do with that podcast. It doesn't need to just be audio. It can also be video as well. And if you do video, you can actually separate the audio from it. So you have a video component and you also have an audio component of it as well. So you're getting like double the whammy. These things can also be searched in search. If somebody's typing in your name of your band into Google, for example, the fact that they can either listen to your podcast, they can watch your videos, they can see your social media posts. Guys, I know podcasting, you've probably not even thought about it, but I get a lot of traffic from my podcast to my website, to YouTube, for example, and it's just me spending 5 or 10 minutes just talking to you about music marketing. There's no reason why you can't do the same sort of thing with your music. Now, look, you may have one person listen to your podcast, you may have 10, you may even have 100. It really doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, try to be consistent with it and just post a podcast, an audio file, upload it to something like Anchor, which is totally free. And as soon as you upload it to Anchor, it puts it into Spotify anyway. All right. So all I'm saying to you is, as a music marketing strategy for 2021, have some sort of podcast where you can literally just tell fans exactly what you're up to. It will take 5 or 10 minutes. You can be longer if you want. And I know many people have started to do this, but I know like Nunny is starting to do this. I know Dusty is starting to do this. It's really, really important that you actually do something very separate from your music, because what it is, it will bring you a lot more exposure if you do. Next thing, guys, is you need to do more with your videos. And I don't think I've got long left, and then we can have a little bit of Q&A. You need to do a lot more with your videos. So once you've uploaded your music video, what you can do, and I've talked about it previously, is you can cut it up into little snippets and actually use that as part of the launch process. All right. You can actually extract the audio. You can actually put it within again, you can even make it a podcast. If you've done a video on YouTube, for example, and it's not a music video, you can actually turn the audio part of it into a podcast, for example. But what you do need to do is you need to cut it into snippets and post it onto different social media accounts. And it basically gets you more exposure. What most of you are doing at the moment is just uploading your video to YouTube, for example, and it just sits there and it doesn't do anything. What you want to be trying to do is, if you make a music video, you want to try and make it work for you. All right. So once you've decided you're going to do a new track, you've recorded a new music video for it, you need to have it in your mind that you're actually going to cut it up into snippets and use it as part of your launch process. If you look at a lot of these successful artists, this is something they do a lot on Instagram. They take a music video that's 3 or 4 minutes and they cut it up into little snippets and they just post it out before launch, just giving you a little taster of their music. And then on launch day, then they'll launch the whole music video. Again, whether you do that or you don't, that's completely up to you. But this is the way to actually get more exposure for you. This is one of the ways of having a proper strategy for your music marketing in 2021, because if you don't do these sort of things, it's going to be very hard to actually get your band or your brand exposure in the marketplace. And again, if you've got any comments, guys, I can see a few people have actually joined. We've got Norlane Thomas. Good morning from Canada. Oh, geez, what time is it there in Canada? Good to see you, though. November Sound, collecting email addresses. We have a significant email list for our local gigs. Should we collect separately for people from around the world or listen, watch and stuff? Is there an easy way? Yeah, it's for musicians. I've said this in the past. Let me put myself on the screen here. For musicians, one of the best ways to collect names and email addresses if you're a musician is actually giving something away. And I would recommend maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 MP3 files of music that hasn't been published yet. That's, in my opinion, and this is with people that we've worked with previously, that's one of the best ways to actually get a person's name and email address. And look, you're not looking to spam these guys. All you're doing is updating them, whatever's going on with your music. So it's a really good idea to do that. I know a lot of you may have websites and you're saying, sign up for my newsletter. That is fine, and it worked maybe 10 years ago, but people don't sign up for newsletters anymore. They want something in exchange, and hence the reason why I say, if you want people to sign up for your email list, you need to give them something in exchange, and that's generally how it works. So good question there, mate. Thank you very much. O'Connor Collect, I use Google Ads. It's so much cheaper than you would expect. Exactly. And look, I'm gonna, in the next few videos coming up in the next few weeks, I'm gonna go through a little bit of advertising. The reason why I haven't done so far is it's quite a detailed subject, and there's a lot to it, and hence the reason why I haven't actually spoken about it too much. So got Philip on here, and I think Philip, you're on the live stream as well. We're going to talk in a minute. And then All World Kitty, yes, on the podcast. Yep, thank you. I was not aware of Anchor. Yeah, Anchor is owned by Spotify. And what happens, mate, if you upload your music to Anchor, if you upload your podcast to Anchor, what it does, it automatically distributes it to the other platforms as well. And it's totally free to do. All right, like I said, it doesn't have to be a full-blown one. It just needs to be quite simple. So, guys, I'm going to take a few questions. I did a tweet earlier yesterday, and a few people had questions. I'm just going to answer those, and then we're going to get to the guys that are actually in the stream. So let's go for the first one. We got D. Connington, I think we can say it is. Let me just get this on full screen. So just hear his question. I'm going to answer this question.
Supporting a cinematic kind of mood. That means I don't fall under the category of most artists who, the bulk of artists make things that fall within a specific genre, maybe hip-hop or rock or folk or singer-songwriter. As someone who makes instrumental and cinematic music, what are some ways you think I could find my audience and reach them specifically so that I'm not just sending out music to a sea of people, many of whom are interested in more mainstream sounds, which is fine. But like, how do I target those specific people who might be interested in the subtype of genre that I produce?
Okay, that's a really good question. If didn't actually, I don't know if there's an echo on your. Leave me a note in the comments if there was an echo on that. On mine, there's an echo, and I'll have to sort that out. But what he's basically asking is, he's got a few genres of music that he's interested in, and what he wants to do is he wants to find out exactly where he can find the fan base for his music. This is a really good question. What I would recommend, D. Connington, is basically go onto Facebook, if you like Facebook. I know a lot of you don't, but go into Facebook, and there are certain Facebook groups for a genre of music. And all you need to do is type in that genre of music into Facebook, click on groups, and it will find you all the groups that are actually interested in that genre of music. So that's the first tip. The second one is to find what we call large artists in that genre of music, and that will give you a good idea of their fan base. So say, for example, you've got a genre of music and you're in rock or in a certain specific type of rock, find the biggest artists within that genre of music, and basically their fan base are going to be commenting, their fan base are going to be following them. That's another way to actually find them. Secondly, this is not so much for Twitter, but it's more for Instagram. If you type in your hashtag for the genre of music, you again will find lots of people talking about your genre of music. If you just type in the hashtag with the actual genre of music in Instagram, you will find loads of posts. You will find loads of people talking about it. Join those groups. Join in the conversation. Tell them about what's going on with your music, and that's a good way to actually find your fan base. Basically, it doesn't happen so much on Twitter. Hashtags aren't used that way in Twitter as much, but on Instagram they have. All right, so hopefully that answered your question. So Facebook groups, comment and leave a really nice comprehensive comment, and then do a search on Instagram just to find what people are actually posting with that hashtag for that genre of music. All right, so next one I've got Little Onion.
Good morning. Just a response to your request for questions. I think 2020 has been a time when many of us that make music have spent a lot of time making music, more than usual, because we've had nothing else to do. Perhaps 2021 is a time for, yes, making more things, obviously, but also a time where we need to set aside some time for thinking about what we've made, why we've made it, and what we want to do with it, and how best to move forward with it. Because things will start to open up again. And we really have to have a feel for where we're going with our stuff. I'd be interested in your opinion on that, and also how we might best move forward with the reflection. Thank you.
There's no problem. So that's from Little Onion. And again, guys, I'm sorry about the echo here. What I'm doing is basically going back to my last point as well, is it's all right posting your music on social media, but again, I would recommend using these platforms. They're totally free to use, using your own little podcast, uploading to YouTube, and just basically talking about things related to your music. You don't necessarily just need to upload music. You can use these platforms to talk about whatever you want that's going on with your music. Excuse me, you can use these platforms to talk about whatever's going on with your genre of music. If there's any news that's happening in your genre of music, you can use the podcast, you can use YouTube, for example, just to talk about these things. It's not just about uploading your music. Have a conversation with these people. Whenever I post a YouTube video, I get several comments where people are asking me questions that are related to the content I'm posting. And I get questions about people asking different things as well. There's no reason why you can't do the same thing with your music. Also, and again, it goes back to my previous point, live streams are so important, especially in 2021. If you want to have a decent music marketing strategy in 2021, Little Onion, going live is one of the best things you can do, because like I said to you before, it means you have a two-way conversation with your fans directly. And there's no, unless you actually meet them in person, there's no better way of actually connecting with your audience than going live with them. It really isn't. So again, that would be my advice for that. And then lastly, we've got All World Kitty, and I think you actually, I think you were in the comments earlier, Live Kitty. We're going to take your question. We'll answer it, and then we'll have some Q&A later.
Greetings, Des. All World Kitty from North County.
Sorry about the echo.
A lot of new social media platforms popping up for musicians, and trying to focus on a couple of them is obviously a challenge, but like with Breaker and Rise, and obviously Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Bandcamp. Do you feel that there's, like a mandatory go-to out of all those, including the new ones? Thanks again, man, for what you're doing for all musicians. I know I personally appreciate it, and a lot of props to you.
Thank you so much, All World Kitty. Thank you very much for that. I'm gonna have to sort that echo out. Sorry, guys. This is all the joys of going live. Right. So what All World Kitty is on about is there are loads of new platforms that are coming out at the moment. Which one should you focus on? And this is one of my favorite questions. I love that you asked this. What I would recommend is, as I talked about before, find out where your fans are, which platforms they're on. Then think about which platform you're getting the most engagement on. Then you need to make a decision. Do you go on the platform where you get the most engagement, or do you go on the platform where your fans are? The latter would be my recommendation, and get really good on that platform. But you need to find out where your fans are. That's the most important thing, right? Secondly, you need to focus on one of these platforms. Now, look, one of the things that musicians do is they spread themselves so thin, and it's not your fault. What happens is there's so many things that are happening. You feel that you need to be posting and be on these platforms all the time that you just kind of wear yourself out trying to do that. What I'd recommend is choose what they call the major platforms. Don't worry about the new ones coming up at the moment, but focus on the major platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, for example. But wherever your fans are, where you're getting the most engagement, focus on that platform. I would say anywhere between 90 and 95%. I'd even go that high. If you're getting engagement on the platform and your fans are on that platform, spend 90 to 95% of your time on that platform. It's so important. I'm not saying not to spend any other time on the other platforms, but you as a musician, you've got so many things on. You've probably got a full-time job. You've probably got a family that you need to take care of. You just don't have the time to spend loads of time on social media. So that's why I always recommend focusing on just one platform. All right. So hopefully that's helped. All World Kitty, I know you're actually in the live stream. Hopefully that helps. You're basically saying yes on the podcast idea. Thank you. I was not aware of Anchor. Yeah, I think you answered that already anyway. But anyway, so yeah, that's it really, guys. So I've got a few guys on the live stream I'm going to introduce you to. Got Peter, We've got Darren on the live stream from Musiccast. We've got Jamie, and we've got Philip on the live stream as well. So guys, good to see you. Give us a wave to make sure you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. So let me just mute some of these because I've got some interference on here. So Peter, I'm going to come to you first. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. A bit late, but it's all right.
No, that's fine. No problem at all. So from what I spoke about before, is there anything that I think we were talking about live streaming before, but you were doing a bit of live streaming. You've got you like to go to venues as well, don't you?
Yeah, we're gonna. Ella doesn't know this yet, but and next gig, I was thinking if that goes about 3 hours, going live at the gig. I know the person who's going to do it for us for about 3 or 4 songs. I reckon it'd just go really, really good. It'd be probably Facebook.
Okay.
It'd just go Facebook Live and go boom.
Yeah, because you get a lot of traction on Facebook, don't you?
We definitely do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And did you say that as well, that some of your fans travel to actually come and see you guys as well?
Oh, we've had a few. Yeah, we've had Jenny went from Belgium to Australia. Corinne's coming over from America, and a couple have been from Sydney up to see Sydney as well. It's 900k away, but yeah, it's amazing what sometimes people do travel. You know,
fantastic. Great. And since we're on the live stream tip as well, we've got Darren on from Musiccast as well. How you doing, Dan? You all right?
I'm good, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. This is Darren from Musiccast. It's a new streaming platform. If you haven't signed up yet, I really recommend that you do. Obviously, Darren can tell you a little bit about it. But what I was talking about with live streaming, Darren, was I think it's definitely a music marketing strategy. It was a music marketing strategy for 2020, but it's even more important for 2021. So maybe you can give some of your views on that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can notice a couple of our users there anyway. Hello, Flip. I know you big fan and a follower of Musiccast. Yeah, so Musiccast, we're a video streaming platform, and we're for independent artists, unsigned artists, and it's just only music. So think YouTube, but take out everything that's nothing to do with music, and that's what you got with us. It's completely free to use, completely free to sign up. It's just another extra sort of string to your bow as an artist, as a musician, as a band, as a producer, as a DJ. Even it's a way for you to just somewhere else to showcase. It doesn't have to be a full produced music video. It could be 10 seconds singing to your camera, and just giving someone, or a little snippet you've taken from a gig last year. Just upload that. It's just another way to showcase something. If you've got all your music on your audio platforms, Spotify, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, put a little snippet of a video up on here and then link out from that. Tell people where your music is, link off to your audio files there if you want to sell it. But it's certainly, but from the live streaming point of view, we're a couple of months away from implementing live streaming. It's massively important. As you said, it grew in 2020. Live streaming is just going to explode over the next few years. Everyone's catching on to it, not just in the music, in any aspect, from business to just everyday life. It's exploding. I think there's different aspects of you being able to make. You're talking about making money from your music. From the live streaming point of view, there's many aspects you could do there. I know we're looking at one where you can, if you're live streaming and people like what they're hearing, there'll just be a little sort of donate tip button where people could just, I like what you're doing. Thanks for turning up and, going through the effort. Is a whatever, $10, $20, just to help people as music artists and whatever, and fans. We all know how hard it is for musicians. People will need to make a living. Sure. So we're just trying to do little bits like that just to help musicians out. We're not trying to get anything from you guys. It's completely just to help musicians out. And so, yeah, just head over and check it out. But
so at the moment, sorry, Darren, they can't live stream, but they can upload their videos to your platform, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can upload video.
Just use this button here, click on upload, and then just upload the MP4 file.
Yep, as soon as you register for an account, it's a quick registration process, just on the sign-in button at the top. And then, as you say, click on that upload button. That's on all the pages, and you'll be able to upload your music from there.
Fantastic, great. And are they, obviously, when you start doing the live stream as well, will they be able to speak directly to their fans as well?
Yes, so we're that's what I'm working my backside off on this at the minute. It's something I've wanted to implement for so long, but
Sure.
you could appreciate as a one-man band, it's been the most stressful 3 years. We've discussed it on previous interviews between me and yourself, but it is coming. I'm working hard on it. But what I want that into being able to participate in conversation, being able to interact with each other, being able to discuss the music or talk with your fans while you're online. I think it's an important part to, as you was talking about earlier, it's not just about the music. To be able to be personable with people are picking up on that these days. It's certainly, even from a business standpoint, people want to know who's the face behind the business. It's the same with the music. So being able to interact during the live stream, I think is an important component that I'm working on at the moment.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
Jamie, we got you on the call or the video 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Good to see you, my friend. And you have to go, but you're back this week, which is great to see. So going towards the presentation, is there anything that you picked up on that you want to try and improve for marketing your music in 2021?
Absolutely, the live thing. Yeah, I have done it in the past and it was quite successful, but that was when I was in a band. Now I'm kind of solo. I'm still in a band, but I'm just launching as a solo and doing lots of collaborations. So my whole thing has changed. So live, definitely, I agree. I've done a few of those replying to people clips that you said. That worked quite well.
Yeah, sure.
And what was the other thing? Yeah, I've got a massive list. I did do a premiere the other day, YouTube video premiere, and I had my most success ever with it.
Okay. So let me just explain to what some of the audience that don't know what premiere is. So it's basically scheduling your video to go out, but instead of just scheduling it to go out at a certain time, you're actually doing a premiere that allows you to have a chat with them. I think it's on the right hand side on desktop, isn't it? So you can have a chat with people that have actually come to the premiere as well. If you set the premiere in YouTube, it comes up in somebody's home feed and they can set a reminder, a little reminder button, just like it is if you're going live actually, but you can set a reminder. So as soon as it goes live, you can chat with your fans. Yeah.
And that's really important, that bit. And I kept pushing for that, for people to hit the bell. I did it about good 3 days before. I probably would have done it longer had I had more time, but I was feeling a bit ill through it as well. So I gave myself 3 days. And it worked really well. I've done premieres before, and I said to myself, I wanted it at least 100 views on that premiere, and I got 150. So
wow,
yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, then how did you get 150 eyeballs to your YouTube channel? How did you do that?
Just by talking about it on the 3 platforms, asking friends and family to support me, asking people that like my music to support me, just being clear about what it is I want them to do for me.
Sure.
Yeah. And it works.
No, that's fantastic.
But you have to be very clear, I think. Like, press the bell, subscribe, and I was telling them that I would be in the chat too. I wrote this song with somebody else and I got them in the chat as well. And usually I would have put that straight onto Instagram, IGTV as well, and then uploaded it to Facebook. This time I thought I won't. I'll stagger it. So when I put it on Instagram, probably over this weekend, I'll say that I'll be hanging around for an hour to have a chat, to concentrate a bit more, because I've been a bit too fast before to just try and get it all out there at once.
Yeah, sure.
And slow the process down. Spend time on each platform, and each Twitter, Insta, and Facebook are really different for me in the way I put things out.
Okay. So you basically have a different type of context for that social media platform.
Sure.
So the way you post on Twitter is slightly different to how you post on Instagram. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, on Facebook, all very different. Yeah. But I'm sort of there with it. It works. But it proves that this works, and following your advice and what, and about not putting the links up as well, putting a picture or a that really helps. Yeah,
no, it's good. A lot of people have a lot of confusion about this. I'll basically just explain it here as well. The way the social media platforms work, okay, no matter which social media platform you're on, they are a business, so they have to make money, all right? they can only make money by selling ads to like businesses, yeah, for commercial purposes. Now, what they want to try and do is they want to show as many ads on a social media platform as possible. They can only do that by keeping you on the platform so you can see more ads. Now, what happens is if you're an account, whether it's on Twitter, well, it's mainly going to be on Twitter actually, but if you're posting content on Twitter or Facebook and you're always trying to send people somewhere else, whether it's to Spotify, whether it's to your website, whether it's to Apple, wherever it is, if you're an account that's always trying to do that, but then by default, the social media platforms do not want to show your content as much, all right? This is particularly prevalent in Twitter, because on Twitter, what you should be doing really is encouraging conversation, all right?
Sure.
We all want to promote our music, but conversation is the key on something like Twitter, because if you don't have conversation and you're just posting links out to other places.
I think it was in your last week's show you said that, and I'm a bit of a person. I do a lot of chat, but I'm a big fan of a GIF.
Okay, yeah, GIFs are fine.
But if I put a GIF up now, I'll put some text with it.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I mean,
whereas I used to just put a GIF.
A text. Don't get me wrong. A text is better, because what it is, whenever you post something, it goes through a filter. All right, in these social media platforms, what they're looking to do is to see if anybody's being homophobic, they're being sexist, whether they're being racist, whether you've put anything up that's sexual. They're looking at all of that when you actually post something on social media. Yeah. Obviously, with a text, what happens is the actual bot that they use to actually see what's happening with that tweet, for example, if it's just text, it's very easy for it to work out what's going on with it. But the moment you add another element to it, whether it's a GIF or whether it's a video, I'm not saying it won't show it, but it has to go through a lot more checks and balances before it shows it to more of your audience. So what generally happens is, as soon as you post it, the social media platforms show it to a small percentage of your followers just to see if anybody moans or complains or red flags it, basically. Yeah. If it within the first minute or so it doesn't happen, they will then show it to more people and more people and more people and more people. But what happens is, if you post a tweet or anything on Facebook that's got an external link, by default it won't show it to as many people. So that's why whenever I say, and it gets misconstrued a little bit, but whenever I say not to post too many, that's what I mean. Is not to not post any at all, but just not to post too many.
And I'm still doing it for fun, but I probably have engaged more. Whereas previously, I might have gone down and just like comments. People commented about my music, but actually, it's better to just say something back than like. I don't know why I was just liking.
I'll actually
I'm not in the mood to chat, sometimes.
I'll actually come back to that in a minute, because I did post something earlier yesterday, actually, and we'll come back to that, the likes thing. Philip, we don't talk to you as much, Philip, so I'm going to give you your little spotlight, your little highlight. How are you, sir? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Did you join quite late, Philip? I can't remember where you joined. I heard the little thing go off, but I didn't know when you joined. So did you see most of the presentation?
No, not at all.
Okay, so what are you doing in 2021 then? What's different? I think I asked you this previously anyway, but what are you doing in 2021 that you weren't doing in 2020?
I think presently now I've been trying to do a snippet of some of my videos.
Okay.
Yeah, last Sunday I was in the studio. Likewise on the Tuesday I was in the studio. So I had to, shoot a video in the studio, then make a snippet of it, drop it every 3 days.
That's brilliant.
So,
what did you do? You basically just have your phone in the corner or something and just film your session?
Yes, that's what I did.
Okay, and then what you did then is you posted that to social media?
Yeah, I think I put the first video was 2 days ago, I think. Then I'm having a premiere by tomorrow of the same video inside the studio.
Okay.
So I actually created a playlist for that, recording in the studio. So it's going to go over to, let me say, a month or two, a week or two.
Is this what I'm looking at here? Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, that's part of it.
So guys, what I'm talking about here is, and this is what Philip's explaining, you need to be doing a lot more with your videos. And this is something I explained in the actual presentation. It's not just a case of uploading a video and leaving it there on YouTube. You need to be doing a lot more with it. And excuse me, there's no reason why. In fact, this is just an image, isn't it, Philip? This isn't a video.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
okay. Have you actually posted any video snippets up at all?
Yeah. No, not at all.
All right, so you just posted an image.
Yes, but
Right,
the link, the YouTube link is over there.
Right, okay. So my recommendation would be, mate, even though you've got a few likes and a few retweets on Twitter, I would actually recommend actually having trying to send people to a link within your bio, for example. Yeah. But instead of posting this with a link, mix it up a little bit. So have maybe 3 or 4 of these, but 3 of them do not have a link. And you're basically just saying, if you like what you hear, actually go in here and actually listen to my music. And what happens is, mate, this tweet will get shown to a lot more of your followers.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with actually posting a link to YouTube. But what happens is, as soon as I click on the YouTube link, if you can see, there's so much distraction. There's so much distraction going on this right-hand side that what happens is, as soon as you send them over to YouTube, for example, they might listen to maybe a few minutes of your track, but then they're going somewhere else. What you want to try and do is try and direct them. I mean, I think you've got an FFM link here.
Yes.
Direct them to places like this, where there's only a few things that they can do. They can either go to Pandora, go to Tidal, go to Deezer, go to Apple Music, and obviously you've got Spotify at the very top there as well. Try and get them to do that, because you'll get a lot more traction from it rather than just send them directly to YouTube. And also as well, this tweet that you actually tweeted out here will get a lot more exposure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you thinking of going live as well? Obviously, we've got Darren on the live stream here as well. Are you actually thinking of going live, Philip?
Yeah, I'm actually working towards that now. So
Okay.
I've not done any live streaming anyways. So I think I will do that hopefully before dropping my EP or any of my singles.
Okay.
So I
Brilliant.
think I'm gonna go live. So just to talk to my fans and actually just to hear what they have to say and anything they think about my music. So
Sure.
I think that would be my next agenda for now.
Okay, great. Just quickly talk to Peter very quickly. Just going to mute you there, Philip. Thanks a lot for that, mate. Thank you. That's the wrong one. Right, Peter. You have been doing really well on Instagram Reels. Is that right?
I did. I went good. It's sort of flattened out. I think they've worked out the algorithms. But it started about nearly a month ago when I had 2,700 views, 20 minutes, which I couldn't believe. I thought it was so. It was picking a time. It was about 9:30 on a Saturday morning, which was perfect. People are at home and maybe having a couple or whatever they do, and it just went. But then it finished up at about 3,300 views. So that was it seems to go after about an hour. Once you've gone past the hour, it's
Sure.
the first hour that goes into that. But I've done it a couple of times. We've cracked 1,000 quite a few times.
That's awesome.
And I think last month we picked up, I think it's about 13,000 accounts on Reels that have listened to us, and their accounts that are not followers. When you do it in explore mode, it's impossible for someone following you to see the video. It just seems to go into, what do you call it, Instagram hyperspace or something like that. And just an example, like in Australia, there's 9.2 million active users of Instagram each month. So it is huge. Sure.
What I'd also, in addition to that as well, I said it before. Say, for example, you are using something like Instagram. If you're concentrating on one platform, and I think you're on multiple platforms anyway, Peter, but if you are concentrating on one platform, get to know the new features that come out as well. So obviously, Reels is quite new, isn't it? It hasn't been out that long. So if you're spending most of your time on Instagram, really get to know that feature, because what a lot of the social media platforms want to do is they want to get as many people using those new features as possible. And if you can get in there quite early, you can actually start using the algorithm a lot better if you're one of the what we call pioneers of using that new feature. And again, if you are using Instagram and you're spending a lot of time in there, I would recommend using all the features that you can, whether it's using the poll section, all the little stickers with all the little GIFs on there. Use everything that Instagram has, because again, what you're trying to do is obviously you're trying to get exposure for your music, but what also happens is these platforms want to keep people on the platform longer. The more things that you can have going on your account, the more engagement that people have on your account, the higher up your content is going to show up on somebody's feed, because you're showing Instagram that you're an account that keeps people on the platform. All right. I know it's a bit of a game, and it's not rules that I've actually put in force. This is something that the social media platforms do. But if you get people to engage with you and stay on the platform longer, they will show your content higher up in the feed.
Okay.
So yeah, but you're doing that anyway. You're experimenting with it anyway, so you're doing really well.
It was. Look, I probably spend more time on Twitter than Instagram and Facebook. We do really, really well on Facebook, but I don't need to be. I spent a lot of time on Facebook. I go nuts. So I really enjoy Twitter. Probably and then Facebook a little bit, and Instagram's not much. I just use it, just go experiment, just little things there. But yeah.
Sure. I mean, one of the things, and I think you're doing this anyway, is the place where you get the most traction, the place that you get the most engagement is what I would recommend using as a strategy for your music marketing. I think you do really well on Facebook, but you do okay on Twitter as well. Is that right?
Reasonable, yeah. I'm in a few groups. I follow We Are Brisbane a lot, and that's just a local Brisbane feed, and I get a little bit of interaction there.
Sure. Cool. All right. Thanks a lot for that, Peter. Let's quickly go back over to Darren. You've been we haven't spoken to you much. So Darren, I know yours is quite a new platform, but how are you finding a lot of the artists coming onto the platform? Are you trying to publicize them on all of the social media networks, and which one are you getting the most engagement from for your platform? Which one gives you the most exposure?
I think the only three that we are using are Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, the three main ones. But what we're trying to do is optimize content. So, I mean, Instagram, in my opinion, it's kind of the same thing as Facebook. So I can just send the same thing to the same platform. Whereas Twitter, I'm doing different. I can engage more. I can speak more openly. I get to talk with the followers as well as the users. Whereas on Instagram, we like that content. They might even read what you've put underneath it. They just literally like what they've looked at. So it's like your picture, but that's it. So I find Twitter I spend a lot more time on for the business and to publicize the users that are coming up.
Sure.
But I'll put the video, a snippet and a link to their video once it's gone up onto MusicCast. I'll pull it across all three of them so that as many people that come across it as possible can go and visit their video.
Fantastic. And I'm going to go over to Jamie. Thanks for that, Darren. Appreciate that.
No worries, mate.
So, Jamie, I mentioned about doing something a little bit different from just posting music on social media and on YouTube. So I mentioned maybe starting a podcast. Is this something that you would actually consider?
I've done that before, and last Saturday I recorded a podcast. I just haven't had time to edit it yet. Yeah, I've been ill and grieving, so I've had like personal stuff thrown at me, but I've done quite a lot. But yeah, it's all on the list, and the podcast is done. I just need to sit down and edit it and put it out.
And what sort of content are you putting on that podcast, mate? Are you chat?
Yeah, so chat and a bit of music. So it's going to be two versions. So chat with my friend. So we're just going to be talking about music-related things and non-music related things. A bit of comedy, bit of chat, bit of queer talk, anything really.
Okay.
And including some music in that.
Sure.
I know when you said about Anchor earlier, I did try that before, but you can only do chat on that, can't you?
Yeah, audio. Yeah.
Audio. Yeah. Sorry. So on Mixcloud, I can put anyone's track on because it's all covered.
what you can also do as well, mate, and this is what I was trying to say, explain in the presentation, is if you're not afraid of a camera, and it doesn't seem that you are afraid of the camera, is actually do a video podcast. So it allows you to actually upload your video like you do to, is it, what was the platform you just said? Music?
Mixcloud.
Mixcloud, sorry.
Yeah. You can go live on Mixcloud as well.
Yeah, so you can upload your podcast to YouTube, the video version, and then extract that, all right, the audio from that. And then what I personally do, what I've done in the past, is actually do a separate intro and outro for that audio file.
Yeah.
So you're basically making it into a podcast, but it was the original audio from the video that you uploaded to YouTube.
Sure. And I thought of doing the two, so like a more expanded version. So I think for half an hour, 45 minutes for a little show, and then an hour included music or something.
Sure.
No, what I meant to mention earlier as well with the YouTube thing, the premiere, is I also got 40 new subscribers in those 3 days.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
So
just what from you went into analytics and you looked and you saw that.
Well, I wrote it down. I'm still a paper person. Spreadsheet. Can't be bothered with that cheap business. So
hey, you're not going to get any judgment from me, mate. You write it down wherever you want to write it down.
So I wrote down at the start, which I often do, how many subscribers I had. Because I'd only just recently done a post anyway about reaching my 100 subscriber goal.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, cheers. So now I'm 140.
Brilliant. So did you have it in mind then? You're on 100. Did you kind of set a goal of how many subscribers you wanted to achieve by
to be honest,
date, or?
But not with the premiere. I thought I may get a couple, but I didn't expect 40. So that proves that I need to look at that more.
Yeah.
So now I've put a goal in place. I think I would quite like 500 or more. I'm not fussy. By the end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So again, you've written that down. Yeah.
Yeah, written it down.
It's so important to write these goals down. I know it sounds, I don't know, it sounds a bit weird when I say it, but it's so important to write your goals down, because as soon as you write them down, they're real. If you just keep them up in your head, it's not real. But the moment you write it down, it's kind of like a commitment saying that this is something that you want to do. So I always recommend, I'm a computer person, mate, but if you want to write it down on paper and put it somewhere on your desk.
Because I spend a lot of time at the computer as well, I just find that I can leave the computer with my pad. I'm finding I'm spending a lot of time at the computer.
Sure.
So it's just another way for me to get away from the computer, and I can sit there thinking about, what I want to do.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. And obviously,
I'm not judging you either.
In the presentation, I basically said that musicians need to make a choice. You either want to make money with your music, or you're just happy to do it as a, not a plaything, but you're quite happy just to make music for the love of it. And there's no reason why you can't do both. But the actions that you take, if you want to make money from it, are completely different to if you're.
So 2 weeks ago, I released the new single. It's the best the best results I've ever had within the first 2 week period.
Right.
Sales, everything.
So what happened? What did you do different with that release?
I listened to you, for one.
Okay, well, thank you.
Some of the things I was doing anyway. I've taken on board your suggestions, your tick list. I've also managed to get myself in a Boy George video.
Oh, right, okay.
So that sort of helped. I'm tapping into his fans because I'm a bit similar to him as an artist.
Yeah. Wow. Mate, you can't gel over that. You need to kind of explain exactly what happened there. I'd be interested to hear that story.
Well, nothing special really, other than he put a call out to his fans to send in little clips. I just happened to be friends with the chap who's directing the video. So I sent him my bit. I just made sure it was well lit. I knew what they were after, so sent that. And yeah, they put me in twice. So I'm quite lucky.
Wow. Okay. And is there a link to that video, or is it live? And
sure, yeah, it was released on Valentine's Day. So it's like a thank you to the fans from George.
Is that in your stream?
Yeah, we'll be there somewhere. So it's called What Would You Call Unreasonable?
Okay, just yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look for it because that's quite impressive.
It's not. I don't obviously have access to the video, so I can't put it up on my site. But I've definitely tweeted about it. I mean, there's been so much engagement. To be honest, it's probably way down now.
So I'm just trying to find it. If I don't find it, you can basically send us the link. I'd be really interested in trying to have a look at that. You post a lot of videos, don't you?
Yeah, I've had a lot of engagement on. There's a screenshot of me in the video. There's George in the middle. Some other chat.
What this? Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you actually get to chat with him and stuff then?
I have talked to him. Yeah.
Okay. So this is it here, isn't it? This is the video here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. So how did it work then? Did you just basically record your part and then upload it?
Learned the song, all of it. Made sure I was well lit and understood the brief of what they were looking for, and yeah, just sent it off.
That's awesome. I did not know that, mate. That's brilliant. So you basically need to use this within your bios and stuff. I've just done something with Boy George, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but definitely use this. I don't know if you probably are anyway, but definitely use that.
As soon as I catch up with myself, I will. To be honest, the single release has been so successful for me that it's taken over my life.
Wow.
You know, besides being ill and the other stuff, actually trying to keep up with the engagement on Twitter has been quite phenomenal. I've been lucky with this. Yeah.
Sure. I know you have been ill, and I do appreciate you coming on this today. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Are you feeling better?
I feel great today. Yeah, yeah. I was COVID positive for anyone who wants to know. And yeah, it really knocked me. And I've also had the vaccine in January. So yeah, but I've been in between it. I've been doing what I need to do. I mean, you know, these things come along, these challenges come along, don't they?
Absolutely.
But I still had a release to sort out. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to come on to Philip, but I was going to ask you one question and then I'll ask Philip. I talked about advertising before because what a lot of musicians do, and it's understandable, is they do what we call organic posting. So they just post content for free on the social media platforms, which is totally fine. But have you considered advertising as well when you're going to do a new launch? Have you considered that? So this is for Jamie.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Since we're on the line, let's get your answer.
I thought you chopped me off. Sorry. What was the question?
Yeah, no problem at all. So what I was saying is, earlier on in the presentation, I was talking about when you're going to do a launch, what most musicians do, and it's totally fine, is they do what we call organic posting. So they post their content for free on social media, which is what we all do. But I was saying in the actual presentation that at some point, if you want to make money with your music, you do need to spend some money on PR, on advertising, getting onto as many Spotify playlists as you can, etc. Is this something that you've considered doing in 2021, actually using advertising?
Yes, in fact, I did contact Boy George's, the person who does his plugin, which is Hot Work. They didn't get back to me this time, but they did get back to me the single before that.
Okay.
So I definitely am looking at it. I have in the past. When I was with my band, we did promote things.
Okay.
But the trouble is, like with Facebook, once you start that process, it then slows everything down when you stop. So
it does, yeah. But I mean, have you got a website as well? I can't remember if you said.
Well, I've got a band website.
Okay.
That's a solo thing. Again, it's just time. I haven't had time. I would like to do a solo website. Yeah. Okay.
One thing I will say is, to go back over to when you have a website, Jamie, what happens is, and I don't want to get too technical with this, I'm just going to touch on it very quickly, is you can actually start collecting data of the people that visit your website. Okay. Yeah. With that, you can then go back to Facebook and tell them that you want to actually show your ad to people that visited your website. Now, what that does is it allows you to actually get in front of those people that probably came on, they saw you on social media, came over to your website, and maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, but they might not come back. But it allows you to get back in front of them.
Sure.
So hence the reason why I say it depends what you want to do with your music. If you're just happy, this is not you, but this is just in general. If you're happy just to make music because for the love of it, that's totally fine. But the moment you decide that you want to make money with it, at some point you do need to advertise.
And I was making money with it through the live work mainly.
Sure.
So yeah, having to rethink that. I will do a website. I mean, I suppose I could put my band website there, but I just thought it might be a bit confusing for people because it's like this humancondition.com.
Are you still with that band, or you're not?
Yeah.
Oh, you're okay. All right.
We're on a break, but yeah.
Okay. It all depends. I mean, there's no reason why you can't set up a separate website for you.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing stuff that you're launching with your band, all you need to do is just swap out the actual links in your bio. Instead of sending people to your website, you just send them to the band website.
Yeah. I tend to do everything myself. So like with GoDaddy, I'm with the website.
Okay.
So,
cool.
But perhaps I should think about getting more people on board because it's just time is running out, you know?
Sure.
And I do have a bit of money I can put to it, not tons, I must admit, but
okay.
I'm prepared to invest in myself. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Thank you very much for that, mate. And Phil, let's get you on. I think you're unmuted. I think you are now. I'm just going to mute you, Jamie. Phil, have you thought about advertising at all for your next tracks? I'm trying to unmute you. There you go. Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, I think I tried that last year when I dropped one of my videos. So I really wanted to do the advertisements on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook. But I was actually getting, it was difficult for me to do that. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. But presently, I'm working towards that because advertising your content really brings a lot of exposure. It brings a lot of fans and brings a lot of money also.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And is this something you're considering with your next launch, your next track?
Yes, I'm considering that now. So I'm putting up plans just to make it happen because last year I tried all I could and it actually didn't work out. So this year I'm planning towards that, and for my next single or EP, and it's going to come before or maybe during the process of releasing the tracks, it's going to come.
Okay.
The advertising and everything. So because it actually brings a lot of exposure, a lot of fans, and a lot of connection also. So it's a good thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And when's your next track coming out then? Do you know?
Hopefully, my next track was supposed to come this month. There's some technical issue with my producers, and so presently now maybe to next month. So I've shifted it to next month. So I'm actually working on my EP is done. My EP album is done, and I'm working presently on mixtape. So the mixtape will drop later at the end of this year, while my EP will drop middle of this year. So I'm actually working a lot with some other artists. You know, the mixtape is gonna be a lot of features, while the EP will be just only me, just 5 tracks, and the mixtape is gonna be a lot of features. So I'm trying to get connected to some artists that will actually work with me, and it's kind of difficult, sometimes communication. Most of we the independent artists are always busy doing our own stuff. I think you understand.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to give them enough time for them to decide when they'll be ready to work. So,
I'm with you. Cool. Well, good luck with that, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you. There is a question actually for Darren. Actually, Norlane has asked the question for Music Cast. I'm just going to mute you, Phil. For Music Cast, does the music have to be originals, or can it be live performances of covers as well? So I'm just going to mute you, Darren. I don't know if you want to answer that question.
Yeah, mate. Good question. I was actually going to put something up about this quite soon because someone else has asked me. But yeah, it can be covers as long as you're not claiming that you own the rights or whatever. You can put your own original music up. I know we've got a guy called Paul Cartwright on the site. He's put up some Pink Floyd covers, which is absolutely fine as long as you're not claiming that they're your music or whatever. Then you can. It's not a problem.
Sure. And have you had a lot of people doing that on your website so far, uploading covers of like live performances?
It's really bizarre because my original concept, what I thought it was Musicast was going to be was a lot of people just 10, 15, 30 seconds singing into their phone, or they've put up a nice little camera phone in their bedroom and they're singing away. But we ended up just getting fully produced music videos, which I wasn't expecting. So now I want all of it. I want, whatever it is. It doesn't matter as long as it's music and it's video. I don't care what it is. But so I kind of want to do a call out for that kind of content as well.
Sure.
I know a lot of people do it on TikTok and YouTube and whatever.
Sure.
But what we're saying is there's no reason you can't be on the other platforms. There's no reason you can't be on ours as well. The difference is, ours it's just music. So
Sure.
if you've got any kind of video like that, then not a problem.
And for anybody that's just joined, mate, can you just explain what the website's all about and what they can do on it? Just in case anybody's joined and they don't know, they've never heard of Musicast before.
Yeah, no worries. So we're new. Well, we'll say new. We're a year old, but in the grand scheme of things, we are new. It's a music video on demand service. So just like any other video on demand service, video streaming service, sorry. But we're just music videos. So it doesn't matter what sort of video it is, as long as it's music based. We've got some fully produced music videos, and we've got people singing, as I say, just a few covers into cameras. But ultimately, we're working now towards the live streaming aspect, so
Sure.
that people can live stream, interact with their fans, and maybe take tips at the same time.
I don't know who's that here then.
Oh yeah, I wonder who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Thanks, buddy. He's been a great supporter for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sing your praises.
Yeah, he's always good.
How are things going with it anyway? Are you seeing a nice little increase in uploads?
With anything, mate, it's whatever I can put into it. At the moment, I'm not sure how many people know, but I am bootstrapping the entire thing at the moment, doing everything myself.
Sure.
I'm currently trying to look whether to start heading towards getting some co-founders, certainly from the technical standpoint, as well as a marketing standpoint, and all the things in between that I don't understand. This is kind of on a whim and a prayer in the beginning. If anyone doesn't know, this is not my background whatsoever. I didn't even know how to turn a computer on about 8 years ago. So I don't know what's going on. It's like, imagine trying to find, you actually come across Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, and then you give them a year to build and code out Spotify. That's probably what it was like with myself.
Sure.
So I don't know what I'm doing. So the last 3 years have been nothing but research and just hard work, and this is what we've ended up with. And that is nothing but this thanks to all the followers and fans and the users who've been using it, because it's been difficult, and without them I probably would have given up a long time ago. But I know what it means to them, and I know what it means to me, and I also know how big it could be as an opportunity for myself as well as the users. So I'm just cracking on.
I've got a message here from Norlane as well, just saying thanks for the info.
No worries, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. And then we've got November Sound. We've been speaking a lot over the last few weeks. We've signed up for Musicast, but haven't tried it yet. So, guys, you definitely need to get on this. Darren's a good friend, and I want to try and support and promote his website as much as possible. Hence, the reason why he's on here today. So, you can upload your tracks on there. And I think in the next few months or so, when you can start going live. But at the moment, it's just uploading your music, isn't it, Darren? Yeah,
it is. Yeah, stick your videos up on there, and I'm getting through as many as I can. I'll try and promote as much as I can on social media as soon as they go up.
Fantastic. And then I've got a note from November Sound. Philip, you should totally go live. There you go. So yeah, there you go. So if you haven't done it yet, Philip, you need to get on it. Peter, we're going to quickly come to you, mate. I haven't spoken to you about advertising. Have you ever done any advertising for your music at all?
Mainly gigs. You get paid $300, so I do a Facebook boost for $20. The reason I like Facebook is because I can do a 50K circle around the venue.
So you get a 50K circle
around the venue,
right?
So when you do a Facebook boost, you can center where the area you want to do, and sure. I pick this where the Tiger Eye bar is, and I just do it does a 50K circumference around it. So that when you do the boost, it really, really only concentrates in that region. And it's done, yeah, it's done all right. Mainly, I thought, well, you know, you're making money out of it, and you just throw a bit in there and get a few along, and it's worked out all right.
Sure. And just explaining to audience as well, if they didn't know, you did a boost. So it's basically just a normal Facebook post. And all you did, you just basically boosted it. They gave you some options where you could actually choose where they show that post within the. And what you were saying is within a, can't remember what the area you said, but within that area that you wanted to target, they will show your post. Yeah.
That's right. I think it still goes Australia-wide. You just can't go, all right, I just want to take. It's still, but a big majority goes there, and the rest just goes Queensland, Australia. And that works. Yeah, that works all right.
Sure. And okay, but you haven't done that recently, though. Is this something you've done?
No, so that was 2019. Yeah, so last year, nothing. I'm really excited about this music cast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely got me going.
I'm surprised you. I'm surprised you're not on it. You're normally on these things. How come you're not on it yet?
I am. Yeah. Well, homework. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Philip's on there. I don't think you're on there yet. Are you? Did you say you're on it, Jamie?
No, I'm not. I don't remember hearing about it. I'm sorry, but I will. I'll check it out.
Are you guys following each other? I don't. Well, you probably don't know actually, but yeah, you guys are on Twitter anyway. So I think they're on there. Darren at Musiccast.
Yeah, it's at Musiccast. If it's on Twitter, it's go with a big Q instead of a C.
Sure, but it's. I mean, most of the guys that I chat with, musicians, are on it. And if they're not on it, hopefully they'll see this video. And obviously, you're going to try it, Peter. You're going to try it, Jamie, which would be good.
My new video.
Yeah. So as much support of that as possible, that'd be great. I think All World Kitty said they're signing up. I think I'll just post that earlier. So they're signing up today as well, Darren. So hopefully get some more people on that as well for you. Again, guys, have you got any questions at all regarding music marketing? I'll try and answer if I can. I'll go to Jamie first. Jamie, have you got any questions at all that I haven't answered or haven't gone through in this presentation?
Well, who would you say is the best way to, if I'm going to promote my next track and give more of a strategy and put some money to it, is there, like Google AdWords or something like that, or what's the best?
At the moment for musicians, it's Facebook without a shadow of a doubt.
Really?
Yeah, if you've got a budget, I would say a good 80% of your budget needs to go to Facebook, because what it is, between Facebook and Instagram, you've pretty much got your whole entire fan base, really. I know there are a lot of your fans on Twitter, but on Instagram and Facebook, the amount of reach that you have and the amount of targeting you can do on Facebook is absolutely, there is no better platform. It's actually better than Google. What you can do is and I don't want to go into too much detail, but you can do something called remarketing. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but it's basically anybody that's basically gone to either Facebook or Instagram, you can then show them ads, for example, or they can show you ads of your latest track. Anybody that's basically visited your website, gone to Facebook, Instagram, you can show them again ads specifically to those people. So it doesn't show it to everybody, it just shows it to the people that have actually seen or interacted with you previously. But in answer to your question, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Facebook.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't going to upload it to Facebook simply because I don't like, you spend all that time doing a decent video and it looks awful on Facebook.
Does it?
Like low res, isn't it? And
oh, right, okay.
To me, it's never as clear as it is on other platforms.
Sure. The only thing I would say is that's what you think, and that's totally fine.
People are used to
your fans aren't going to be looking at as much details that I can trust you on that. Well, I can promise you that. I would basically definitely upload your music videos to Facebook, even though you might not get a lot of organic reach. Even if you send a few people to them from the other social media platforms, again, it's always collecting data. So the next time you launch, you can basically use that data in order to show it to the people that have already shown an interest in your music.
Okay, thank you.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with Google, and Google is fine. But for a musician, Facebook is definitely where it's at the moment.
Okay. What about the whole, like yesterday I was seeing all this delete Facebook business. What's all that about?
Yeah, it was more to do from memory. It was more to do with COVID posting.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Somebody could correct me in the chat, but I'm sure it was more. I know it's. I think it's. Excuse me, Peter might be able to let me know. It's more down your end of the world, but I think they were not allowing people from New Zealand, for example, to post anything to do with COVID. And I might be wrong, but that's kind of what I saw. I don't know if you know anything about that, Peter, but
Is that Australia? No, well, I haven't heard that, but Australia got hit with news feeds. News feeds can't go on Facebook, but that suits me. I'm not really interested in news. It's too much bad news, but yeah, look, it's up in the air in Australia. Google's come to the party. Google's given Australian government or someone over here $30 million. So they must make some money. They must make some serious money, Google.
they're making a little bit. They're making a little bit.
I think what the issue was, I was looking into it myself, only because for some reason I'm keeping a really big eye on these tech companies. It just fascinates me. But I think what the issue was, for content rights, Facebook were not willing to. Basically, they're going to have to pay if people, as far as Australia are concerned, and they're saying, look, we're not a publisher. The users of our site are the publisher. We're just the means and the platform which that gives away the news. So all of a sudden, Facebook blocked the news content in and out of Australia because they're arguing with the Oz government. And so now the Oz government, and as well as a lot of legislators around the world, are saying, actually, Facebook, these are bully boy tactics, and it's to do with freedom of speech, and you can't just stop people posting news. That's, and so it's starting to grow into something quite big, where it's not just Australia, but a lot of legislators around the world are going to start looking at this and saying, actually, we're going to start making your rules. You're not going to start making the rules because you're getting a bit too big. That's as far as the story's becoming. And a bit, I think it comes down to content rights, and that Australia and certainly other countries and others in Europe are saying, if you're going to start posting, if news and other content is going to start going from your site, you're going to need to start paying for it. And which Australia's saying, well, we're not paying for it. We're not the publisher. We're just the platform that it's delivered on. Still, I think that's the thing. So I think over the next few years, I may be wrong, but I would expect Facebook's share price to start plummeting.
I don't know about that. But we'll see. I mean, what I will say is, I know there's a lot of musicians that are against Facebook, but most of the social media platforms are the same. They're there to make money. I know Facebook has done a few dodgy things in the past, but it's still definitely a place to post your content. It's still definitely a place, if you can, to advertise with as well when you've got a new track coming out. And again, it goes back to what I was saying previously about starting an email list. And I'm not saying it because I'm trying to sell anything. It is literally the main marketing strategy for 2021 is to actually build a community around your music. And when I say build a community, I don't mean having thousands of people. Even if it's only 10 people, even if it's only 100, you do need to take people away from the social media platforms and have a way of having some engagement with them rather than just speaking to them on social media as well.
And like you say, if you get blocked, then you've still got an element of power, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. Have you got an email list as well, Jamie? Have you started one? Have you got?
I'm really terrible. I do from the back. Yeah.
Sorry to call you out there, mate. I didn't mean to do
really
that.
terrible at that. That's probably my weakest link. Yeah, I need to get on that.
Right. But mate, it's never too late. It's never too late to start. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I do it a lot in my business, but I wasn't doing it a lot for this side of things, this music side of things. I started doing it a few months back, about 3 months back, and it's just rocketed because I promote it. I send out an email newsletter every week that people get, and they don't get it on the day. They might look at it on Saturday, might look at it on Sunday, they might look at it whenever, but at some point they do get it away from the social media platform. So if you want some homework, that's definitely something I would recommend that you.
I will be collecting them. Don't worry. Yeah.
And what about you, Phil? Have you got? I think you have actually. You got a what do you call it? You've got a landing page and stuff, haven't you?
Yes. I've got a landing page, and for the question I was about asking the same question Jamal asked. So more reason why I haven't dropped my singles or EPs was about how to promote the music, how to promote the EP or the singles I'm planning in dropping.
Sure.
Because you've taught us a lot about how to make money through music. Music doesn't have to be just doing a free stuff, and as in promoting your song free. At least you have to make money. You spend money to make music, so we have to get
Absolutely.
a royalty. So I don't know if there's a strategy or if there's any way someone can actually make music directly from Facebook. I don't know if I don't know if you have any suggestions.
Sorry, can you just ask that question again? You don't know something about Facebook. I heard Facebook. I didn't
Yeah,
hear
Jama asked a question about how the better platform to promote your music, and you said Facebook. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, like, can you expatiate more? Can you tell us more about how directly we can make money from Facebook?
Well, it's not a case of making money from Facebook. What you're doing is you're using it as a platform to advertise to people, to show them your music.
All right.
I'm not the biggest fan of using Facebook to advertise to Spotify, for example. That's just me personally. Only because I think if you're trying to build a community around your music, your community, if they like your music, they will be willing to pay for it. Honestly, I know it probably doesn't seem that way, but honestly, if you get 10 people that go to your Bandcamp site, for example, go to Bandcamp and you've got your music there, and you're charging $2, you're charging $3. If they like your music, they will download it from there. All right. When you're spending money on advertising,
Bandcamp Friday.
Sorry.
Coincide with a Bandcamp Friday or something.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
Yeah.
Spotify is great for exposure. All right. And if that's what you're looking for, if you want loads of streams and you want to be able to post on social media that you got X amount of streams, then that's totally fine. However, as a music marketing strategy for 2021, Spotify is great for exposure, but you want to be trying to build your own little community. When you get next time you're launching, you want to be asking them to download your music. Actually, tell them if it's okay if you want to stream it, but you'll be helping me as a musician if you download my music. All right.
That's exactly what I say. The best way you can help me is to buy it on Bandcamp. Yeah.
Exactly. And Nunny Boy was on here a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that he let people pay whatever they wanted to pay.
Oh, no.
I would recommend against that. I would basically set a price, whichever price you want to say. I think it's on about $2 or $3. I can't remember what it was, but definitely set a price, and your fan base will pay whatever price you put on there, as long as it's not too much. But if you let them pay whatever they want to pay, then they're not going to pay that much, basically. I don't know if you found that, Jamie, but that's kind of...
I always put it out for £1 if it's a single, yeah, and I get it, yeah.
Sure, and even more so, going back to your question, Phil, use the streaming platforms for exposure, all right? But what you're trying to do is build a community so that in turn you basically use Bandcamp for downloads, for example. When you've got an EP or an album out, they can actually purchase that. And then later on down the line, if you've built a good community, you can start selling merchandise, for example. There's actually more money in merchandise than there is in selling music, believe it or not. So I'm not suggesting that you wholly go down the merchandise route, but if you're selling a cap, a t-shirt, anything like that, if people like your music, they will buy the merchandise from you as well.
So I've got a good thing on that. When with my band, This Human Condition, we launched our album in 2016. We quickly realized that people would buy a t-shirt, especially friends, family, everyone will buy a t-shirt, and then they got the CD with it.
Yeah, exactly.
When we were trying to sell the CD, it's like trying to sell,
You've hit the nail on the head there, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think what it is, a lot of musicians have got, all they hear is Spotify this, Spotify that, and that's totally fine. But if you've got true fans that like what you do, they will. You've got to get your story across. Asking for support. And I said in a previous video, guys, please support me. Just be straight with them. I don't make much money from Spotify, but if you like my music, I'd really appreciate it if you supported me on Bandcamp, for example.
Yeah.
And they will. You're not going to get thousands, but I guarantee you'll make more money doing that than just
We
sending people.
sold more T-shirts than we did our album because people didn't even really want the. Well, some people did, but most people just wanted the T-shirt because it was quite a cool T-shirt.
Okay.
So to be honest, they weren't even bothered about the music. We used to just get people. I might as well have just opened a T-shirt shop. It was a bit of an insult.
Jamie, how much was you charging for that, the T-shirt, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
think they were going out for £15 to £20.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's not bad.
and they
And
were,
how long-
they were good quality as well.
How much? Well, you don't need to give me an exact figure, and if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. But on Spotify, did you earn that sort of money on Spotify last year?
No, so
You don't
we
need to give me exact figures, just rough.
no, nowhere near. No.
Okay. So this is what I'm trying to say to you: is the more community building you have, the more your fans will tell their friends, their family. That's, to me, if you want to make money with your music, that is definitely the route you need to go. Use Spotify and Apple Music for sure, but your main goal is to try and get them to download and buy your merchandise. That's the main goal.
The electronic community, which I'm a big part of, is very supportive, and there's a lot of people that won't even put their stuff up on Spotify. They just go the Bandcamp route.
Yeah, again, it's not a strategy I would recommend, but I respect that. But listen, Spotify and Apple Music are fantastic for exposure. There is no better platform. There really isn't. But like you're doing, Jamie, you do need to try and focus on getting people to platforms where they can actually download your music and get to know you a bit better.
Well, I'm
live streaming, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm actually chatting to a lot more people on YouTube, which is something that has only been like a couple of times a week. I may have to reply to something, but I've had loads of interaction on YouTube. So seeing that in terms of a social media site rather than just somewhere I put videos.
So what's happening then? Explain that to me. So what's happening is you're posting something on YouTube, you're receiving comments, and then you're replying to those comments, but then maybe encouraging people to have a conversation within those comments.
Exactly, to asking a question. Yeah, what was your favourite bit? Or thanking them as well. And yeah.
Fantastic. And going to you, Peter. I'm just going to mute you, Jamie. Thanks for that, mate. Peter, I'm just going to you. I know that I can't remember if it was you. Did you say that you used to sell merch when you used to do a gig or something? I can't remember.
No, it's mainly CDs.
Right.
That's we need to do some merch.
So you used to sell CDs when you used to perform live, yeah?
Yes, we've sold quite a few there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. You get a few extra CD sales.
Sure.
It's like people just having their meal. They come up and they have a bit of a gig. It was sudden bang and $20 here in Australia. That's it.
Sure. Fantastic. Well, look, guys, believe it or not, and you probably don't believe this, we've been on 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I think we're going to cut this this live stream. But I do thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm going to go through each one of you. You can tell me what you're working on and where people can find you. So, Peter, we've just been talking. Are you working on anything at the moment? Where can people find you?
I'm going to be working on Darren's site tomorrow. Big time.
He didn't pay you to say that, did he?
No. I just got me in there.
So you're going to go to start uploading some of your videos to Musiccast, yeah?
Yeah. What do they share like on Facebook? One last look. Do they share good on Facebook, Darren?
They should do, buddy. What I do is I put them up to Instagram and then toggle the switch that says send to Facebook at the same time, and so they'll look exactly the same as they do up there, mate.
Okay, that'll be good.
And where can people find you, Peter?
Where's that?
What are your handles? What's your handle on Twitter and Instagram? Is it the same?
It's the same, Peter and Al.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Darren, you can unmute yourself, mate. Where can we find you, Darren?
Everywhere at Musiccast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or you can just go to musiccast.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. We'll go to Philip. Philip, where can we... you're not got anything out at the moment, but where can we find you?
On Instagram, everyone. On Facebook, everyone. On Twitter, everyone, GM, and on YouTube, just everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thanks for coming to the live stream, mate. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then lastly, Jamie, I love having you on, Jamie, because you've come up with a lot of gems and a different perspective as well. So where can people find you, and what are you working on at the moment? What have you got coming out?
So I am working on a new track with my lockdown band called Flux, a new track called Divulge, which will be out in April. And you can find me on @Mr. Jamie Jamal, Insta, Twitter, and yeah, also Flux and This Human Condition.
Fantastic. That's great.
So I'm working on my mixtape, and I want to get like 8 tracks on the mixtape. Presently now I've got like 3, and I've been speaking with some artists, and the response I've been getting is so horrible. It's not that encouraging. So I don't know if anyone would love to, collaborate, and I would love to feature. So I don't know.
If anybody's looking for collaboration with Phil,
yes.
Sure, I'll check you out.
and you can just spend time with your family. So have a great weekend. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Have a great one. And again, we do this every Saturday. I do it exactly the same time. If you're not watching this live, it's on replay as well. So guys, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Have a great weekend.
Right.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye, everyone. Bye.
See ya.
So guys, that's it. My name is Des from the Music Marketing Academy. If you're looking to market either you, your band, or your brand in this fast-growing music industry, then this is definitely the right place. Like I was saying to those guys, we stream every Saturday. It's a slightly different topic every Saturday, but it is every Saturday that we're doing a live stream. If you can't make the live stream, it will be available up on replay on Periscope. It's going to be on YouTube, and it's also on Facebook as well. So guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Thanks.